Amen. I would like to recognize the people on the high table. In the far end, we have Dr. Bulli Sanyang, a retired veterinary doctor. Next to Mr. Sanyang, we have Bintu Gassama, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment. And next to her, we have Fode Bojang, who is the Country Director of CorpsAfrica, Gambia. Next to Mr. Bojang, we have Mr. Adam Abba, who is the Chairperson of the Board of Directors. And next to him, we have Abbas Ba, who is the Executive Director of National Youth Service Scheme, NYSS. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today for two specific reasons. One, this is the launch of the CorpsAfrica Gambian chapter. And two, we are going to swear in the first cohort of CorpsAfrica Gambia. And I will just read a brief background of what CorpsAfrica is all about. So, CorpsAfrica was founded in 2011, and it is an international non-governmental organization that provides the opportunity for Africans to serve as volunteers in their own countries. Along the lines of Peace Corps model, most of us are familiar with the Peace Corps volunteers in the Gambia because they've been here for decades now. So CorpsAfrica train college-educated young Africans and send them to live up to 1 year in rural high-poverty communities to facilitate small-scale, high-impact projects that are identified by the local people themselves. CorpsAfrica aims to promote a culture of public service in Africa by giving participants the opportunity to apply their education, skills, and energy towards helping their fellow citizens overcome extreme poverty. In the Gambia, CorpsAfrica will focus on climate change and resilience, emphasizing its green initiatives. Together with the community members, CorpsAfrica's youthful volunteers will identify the sectors of greatest need to implement small-scale solutions to build resilience in the community where they are hosted. And the entire purpose is to make sure they contribute to community-based development. So that is why we are here, and the 11 lucky young people to be part of this first cohort are the people that I just called in, and that is why we are here today. Now, I must emphasize that climate change is one of the biggest problems we have in this country. Food self-security is one of the most important thing any country could attain, and climate change is affecting that. So if the focus of this cohort, if the focus of CorpsAfrica Gambia is on climate change and resilience, that is fundamentally significant. And one of the ways to solve that problem is proximity. That is, we cannot sit here, design programs, throw them at the people and say we are solving the problem. No, we must go there, live with the people, understand the challenges they go through, how they are trying to solve them, and then we can model our solutions based on the realities on the ground, not based on what we think would best suit them. And I think that is why this approach is very fundamental, and we have seen some of the videos while we were waiting, and some of the testimonies that came from some of the volunteers from other countries, and the impact that they are creating, the circumstances under which they are creating those impacts. That is not something you can design at an office and then throw it to the people. That is something you have to go live in that community, live within the experience, and then be able to be part of the solution, or at least do something that contributes towards the solution. So without wasting much time, we will have the introductory statement by the country director, Mr. Fode Bojang. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you, Mr. Gay, and good morning, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be here this morning to address all of you on this auspicious occasion. Representative of the Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, representative of the Minister of Youth and Sports, Chairperson, Local Board of Directors of CorpsAfrica Gambia, members of the CorpsAfrica Local Board of Directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, It's a pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion of the swearing in of the first cohort of 11 volunteers of the Gambia chapter of CorpsAfrica. Many of you may not be aware of CorpsAfrica and its work in Africa. I would therefore like to take a minute to give you the background of the organization. CorpsAfrica is an international non-governmental organization that was founded by Miss Liz Fannings, a Peace Corps volunteer then in Morocco. We will show you in a short while a short video of the 10th anniversary of CorpsAfrica. And from this video, you may be able to grasp some of the reasons why CorpsAfrica was created, and perhaps it will also give you the opportunity to look at the face of this lady who actually went all her way, and she had to resign from her job to come to create this CorpsAfrica. The first CorpsAfrica operations naturally started in Morocco with 9 volunteers. The organization has since expanded to include 9 countries, namely Morocco, Malawi, Senegal, Kenya, Ghana, Rwanda, Uganda, Ethiopia, and last year, the Gambia. CorpsAfrica plans to cover all the 55 countries of the African Union. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in February 2019, the Chief Executive Officer of CorpsAfrica, that's Ms. Liz Fanning, visited the Gambia on a pre-scoping mission to introduce the organization and to inform about the prospect of opening and operating an office in the country. The Gambia office was opened in September 2023 and was incorporated in the country as an international non-governmental organization in November of the same year. With the establishment of CorpsAfrica in the country, CorpsAfrica Gambia immediately proceeded to recruit support staff and potential volunteers to provide support for the much needed community-based development to be undertaken in the country in collaboration with development partners from the government, agencies, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, the private sector, and most importantly, the local communities. We will work hand in glove with these agencies and organizations to deliver on our respective and mutually reinforcing agenda and objectives. CorpsAfrica's 7-member local board of directors was established in November 2023 with Mr. Adam Abba, a founder and head of the Institute of Travel and Tourism of the Gambia, as its chairperson. Other members are Ms. Fatou Jiba, Director of Community Development Department, Ms. Aji Kumba Dafe, Chief Executive of Treasure Women Warriors, Dr. Famara Bulli Sanyang, a retiree and a veterinary officer, doctor, Mr. Malandin Jaiti, Project Manager of the Large Scale Ecosystem-Based Adaptation Project, EBA, Mr. Mr. Sekou Janko, President of the All Gambia Forestry Platform, and Mr. Dauda Samba of UNICEF. The board held its first inaugural meeting on January 10th, 2024 this year to provide direction and support for my office. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt appreciation to all the board members for accepting to selflessly serve CorpsAfrica and the Gambia without pay, because this position we don't pay any sitting allowances to any board member, and they have known that they accepted this, for which I'm very, very grateful. I say thank you to all of them for this spirit of volunteerism. Beginning on the 6th of December 2023, CorpsAfrica undertook a 6-week pre-service training for its original cohort of 11 volunteers that we have just welcomed into the room. These volunteers will be sworn in today. Let me hasten at this stage to express my personal appreciation to many of our potential development partners who provided human resource support for the training. This included the Gambia Red Cross Society, the University of the Gambia Peace Corps Office, CSOs such as the All Africa Forestry Platform and Bikanya, and our able chairperson, Mr. Adam Abba, who actually gives some sessions to the volunteers on ecotourism. My appreciation also goes to our sister offices in Senegal, Rwanda, Ghana, Malawi, and to CorpsAfrica Global Office in Washington, D.C., United States of America. My special thanks go to the country director of CorpsAfrica Senegal, Ms. Astu Njai, for allowing her staff to come and to stay with us for several weeks to train our staff. It is unfortunate that Ms. Njai could not come to this swearing ceremony due to certain unexpected or pre-planned activities. I also thank my able colleagues, Mr. Muhammad Sidi Khan, the volunteer liaison officer, Mr. Isa Janko, the training officer, Ms. Maria Masanya, executive assistant and communications officer, Mr. Modu Lamin Jai, the bookkeeper or accountant as we refer to them. I especially recognize the hard work of Mr. Magat Njai, a trainer from Senegal who supported us throughout the 6 weeks for pre-service training of the volunteers. Importantly, I would like to thank our sponsors, namely the OCP of Morocco. OCP is a Moroccan government organization that's responsible for the administration of the phosphorus exploitation in the country, and the MasterCard Foundation that are the principal sponsors of CorpsAfrica nowadays. They provide financial support to our activities in the Gambia, and we look forward to them continue to provide support to us as we progress in the years to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, CorpsAfrica's mission and objective are to provide the opportunity for African youth to serve as volunteers in their own countries along the lines of Peace Corps model. CorpsAfrica trains college-educated young Africans and send them to live up to 1 year in rural high-poverty communities, as we have heard from our MC, to facilitate small-scale, high-impact projects that are identified by local communities themselves. CorpsAfrica further aims to promote a culture of public service in Africa by giving participants the opportunity to apply their education, skills, and energy towards helping their fellow citizens overcome extreme poverty. Specifically, CorpsAfrica seeks to promote the professional and personal development of young Africans, to inspire a strong Pan-African community and network of public service, and to connect rural areas to the vast resources and innovations of diverse NGOs that exist in the countries. And finally, to build the capacity of rural villages or villagers to create self-sufficiency in every sector that they deal with. CorpsAfrica volunteers listen to local people, facilitate and help implement community-chosen projects that address critical needs and build local capacity. This community-centered and community-led approach ensures effective local ownership, cost efficiency, and a deep understanding of the target community's long-term needs. CorpsAfrica has steadily expanded operations from Morocco to include Senegal, Mali, Rwanda, Ghana, as I mentioned earlier. In one of its articles, CorpsAfrica acknowledged that youth volunteerism is a powerful catalyst for change. It equips young individuals with skills and instills a sense of purpose and empowers them to become agents of progress in their communities. It further observes that the integration of volunteerism and community-led solutions championed by CorpsAfrica is a beacon of hope for Africa's youth. It embodies the essence of empowerment, collaboration, and sustainable progress. As these initiatives continue to flourish, they serve as a testament to the transformative power of service, shaping not only communities but also the lives of the young individuals who lead the change. Volunteerism enhances leadership skills, development. It also shapes the future of the young volunteer and helps contribute to a more interconnected world. CorpsAfrica works on different developmental fronts, which it terms as initiatives. We have what is called the CorpsAfrica Black Initiative. This initiative is any community-led initiative that provides and strengthens local groups, especially women and girls, with financial skills, particularly for economic development projects. We have CorpsAfrica Blue, which is an initiative project that focuses on finding solutions to water-related problems in rural communities, including but not limited to enhancing energy efficiency and sustainable energy resources that increase access to water developing the blue economy and improving sanitation and hygiene. CorpsAfrica Green is an environment-focused initiative that empowers volunteers to recognize the effects of climate change in their communities, learn best practices of how their communities are adapting, and support projects in their communities to build resilience, protect natural resources, and improve quality of life. CorpsAfrica Pink initiative focuses on providing women and girls opportunity to fulfill their potential and within their communities. And CorpsAfrica Purple initiative ensures that CorpsAfrica actively recruits people with disabilities to serve as volunteers, and that all volunteers are trained in issues affecting a wide range of disabilities, and to engage people with disabilities in their community activities. This initiative focuses on ensuring the inclusion and development of people with disabilities by helping them secure high-quality jobs and work with the relevant development partners to ensure social protection systems and measures. A CorpsAfrica Red initiative focuses on finding solutions to health issues and access to basic medical care in remote rural communities, including but not limited to building and equipping health clinics, facilitating medical health insurance to reinforce the social protection of vulnerable groups, and educating young girls and women on sexual health productivity. Finally, we have CorpsAfrica Silver, which is an initiative focusing on providing information technology and technical skills to communities in order to help reduce the digital gap between urban and rural areas in Africa, and also accelerate social innovation and economic development. In the Gambia, CorpsAfrica will focus on climate change, adaptation, and resilience, emphasizing the organization's green initiative. Together with their community members, CorpsAfrica volunteers will identify the sectors of greatest need to implement small-scale solutions to build resilience in the communities they will be serving, thereby contributing to community development. It must be said at this juncture that CorpsAfrica's approach is slightly different from those of many NGOs, agencies, and projects. CorpsAfrica does not go to communities with project ideas, and we emphasize this all the time. We do not go to communities with project ideas. Instead, CorpsAfrica's approach is to engage the communities in a way that will facilitate the identification of critical needs by the communities themselves, that, together with the community, can be developed into a project idea to be funded by the community and development partners. It's a joint program in CorpsAfrica's approach. CorpsAfrica's approach is therefore focused on human-centered design, asset-based community development, and community-led development. These are three key areas of approach of CorpsAfrica. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Africa's youth represent a formidable driving force for sustainable development in the continent. These youth have faced the challenge of accessing avenues that empower, educate, and meaningfully engage them in national development. Recognizing this, CorpsAfrica actively pursues youth development and employment creation. At the community level, the volunteers, while facilitating and catalyzing community actions to address local problems, enhance their own skills and knowledge in a way that makes them employable, not only at the national level, but at international levels as well. CorpsAfrica is therefore committed to creating a brighter and more inclusive future for the young generation of Africa, and to enhance their role in sustainable development in the African continent. For the year 2024, CorpsAfrica will increase its commitment to invest in African youth for sustainable progress. This requires collective endeavors to fight for community growth by investing in the development of our African youth, who are not only leaders of tomorrow, but also important catalysts for transformation in Africa. As we journey through 2024, CorpsAfrica Gambia will seek collaboration with development partners of all descriptions to leverage diverse skills, knowledge, and resources to bridge gaps, foster innovation, and unlock the potential with every corner of our country. Our volunteers will be deployed to Tampular in Kiang West, Quinala in Kiang Central, Boiram and Misra Joben in Lower Fuladu, Kunda Mafati in Tumanda, Nyakoi Taibatu in Willi West, Santam to Bubu in Upper Fuladu, Balanga Kederi in Lower Salem, Ilyasa in Central Badibu, Ndofan in Lower Nyomi, and Dogo in Sami District. I thank those communities for accepting CorpsAfrica Gambia's volunteers. I further thank the families within these communities who offered to host our volunteers. To conclude, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this singular opportunity to recognize, celebrate, and pay homage to our gallant first cohort of volunteers for their decision for selflessly committing themselves to long-time volunteerism in the country. Many people before.
Hello. Thank you for joining us to toast CorpsAfrica's 10th anniversary. On March 1st, 2011, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps by officially launching CorpsAfrica to give young Africans the chance to serve like Peace Corps volunteers in their own countries. For the volunteers, they have the chance to get out of their comfort zones and learn about themselves. I used to be a cynic of international development, but it was while reading Bill Easterly's book, The White Man's Burden, that I got the idea for CorpsAfrica. His premise was, the only plan is to have no plan. We are not going to be the saviors that fix poverty. If you want to help someone, listen to them and give communities the opportunity to identify what needs to be done and to take the lead in doing it. That aha moment took me back to a Moroccan woman I met when I was a Peace Corps volunteer back in the 1990s. I met her at a cafe and she told her what I was doing. And she said, that is so great. I want to help my country. Can I be a Peace Corps volunteer like you? And I had to say, no, I'm sorry. It's only for Americans. It was the defining moment of my life, but I didn't know it at the time. And then it all came together in CorpsAfrica, Peace Corps for Africans. So I stopped complaining and decided to let these young people show the world how it's done. And they have. I spent a few years fundraising while I was still working full time. And by 2013, I'd raised enough money to quit my job, move to Morocco, and just do it. Later that year, we had our first group of 7 volunteers serving in Morocco. They remind me of Peace Corps volunteers so much. They are eager for adventure, full of questions, patient, proud, brave. They're having fun and making friendships that will last a lifetime, just like we did. We haven't deviated much from the original model. It's only 1 year of service because our volunteers already speak the language and know the culture. Early on, we started incorporating human-centered design. I used to tell the volunteers to host community meetings and ask people what they want, but they struggled. The human-centered design provides structure and tools that they need. We spend a month in pre-service training, introducing them to diverse NGOs in their country, certifying them in first aid, and building the community amongst themselves. Then they move to their sites for 10 months, live with host families, eat what they eat, sleep where they sleep, deeply listen to the local people, and develop friendships, understanding, and trust. That's what leads to true demand-driven development. The projects they implement are small scale and high impact, but diverse because they're identified by local people who live in unique, complex communities. Typical projects include wells, schools, libraries, irrigation systems, etc. Many projects introduce new innovations and mindsets to the local people like solar power and savings plants. As of today, hundreds of young Africans have served as CorpsAfrica volunteers, and I am very proud of each one of them. Some go on to serve again in another African country as an exchange volunteer. A volunteer in Morocco, Muhi, went on to serve in Malawi, where he married one of the Malawi volunteers, and they served together in the first group in Rwanda. Alpha served in Senegal and then Malawi, where he secured a grant from the NBA to build a basketball court at his site, which was the Zaleka refugee camp in Malawi. We are working to provide our alumni a variety of pathways to leverage their service, secure high-quality jobs, and become job creators. Eva, from the first group in Morocco, served in the High Atlas Mountains and built a preschool with her village. Then she worked with me at headquarters in Washington, D.C. for 2 years before going on to the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts. And now she's working for our sponsor, OCP, in New York. During this historic year of the global pandemic, current volunteers made the brave decision to stay at their sites to help their communities by providing life-saving information and supplies to the local people to prevent the spread of COVID-19, endure the economic upheaval, and prepare for future crises. I couldn't be prouder and more convinced of the power of the CorpsAfrica model, locals helping locals, listening, connecting, loving. On this 10th anniversary, I want to thank you for your support and especially the critical investment by OCP, MasterCard Foundation, Sanford Heisler Sharp, Open Road Alliance, and so many more donors, development partners, our wonderful board of directors, and incredible, amazing staff who work so hard. And of course, especially the remarkable CorpsAfrica volunteers. All of you have helped to make CorpsAfrica a reality. As we've seen over the past 10 years, young Moroccans, Malawians, Senegalese, Rwandans, and hopefully all young Africans in the near future are ready and eager for the opportunity to learn, grow, and serve. So happy 10th anniversary, CorpsAfrica. Thank you for joining us, and please stay in touch because this is only the beginning. Cheers.
Joyeux anniversaire CorpsAfrica!
Joyeux anniversaire CorpsAfrica!
Soyez le haut CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary 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 to CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy 10th anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy 10th anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
Happy anniversary CorpsAfrica!
CorpsAfrica! CorpsAfrica! CorpsAfrica!
What inspiring stories, what amazing young people, and what great work they are doing. I would now like to welcome the chairman of the board of directors, Mr. Adama Ba, for his statement.
That was good.
Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Representatives of the Ministry of Environment, also the Youth and Sports Ministry, Executive Director of Clean Up Gambia, on behalf of and of course the Country Director, on behalf of the Board of Directors, I will first of all want to congratulate the Country Director, Mr. Fode Bojan, and his team, all the teachers, and the resource persons that helped in the training and orientation of the volunteers, and last but not the least, graduating volunteers who are the reasons for our being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here to witness the first of its kind swearing ceremony of the first cohort of the CorpsAfrica GAMBIA volunteers, to also coincide with the launching of CorpsAfrica Gambia. I would also like to congratulate the newly appointed board members, to which I am the chairperson. In our first meeting, mentioned by the country director, we promised to do our utmost to make and grow the organization to the level of excellence it deserves. We can do this, especially given the fact that we are able to learn from the challenges and successes of other sister CorpsAfrica organizations, especially the one that is our neighbor in the sister Republic of Senegal. Initiates, volunteering is not just for you to spend your time in doing selfless activities to help others. it has a greater impact than that. It nurtures the spirit of giving after receiving so much from your parents, extended family, friends, and the society at large. One needs to understand that it is in this world, no one lives without the contribution of others. This is true of the Gambia too. Other Gambians may live far from you, but over the years they have been contributing to your own development, paying taxes that build the school and university you attended to gain the knowledge you have today, that build the hospital and clinic you were born or went to, that build the roads and so on. This is why we live together as a people and as a nation. So giving back to people is also paying back to help your nation grow and above all, fulfilling your responsibility to your country and humanity at large. It does not stop there. It brings opportunities to your own development. It makes you know your country better. It makes you grow into valuable members of society. It develops your life skills as you get to know other circumstances outside your comfort zone. It also makes you a better person by appreciating life more and value what you have. As Muhammad Ali the boxer puts it, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. It has been the experience of CorpsAfrica, volunteers in other countries, that most employers prefer hiring fresh graduates with volunteering experiences because they are usually more committed and develop a deep sense of responsibility. They are usually more reliable and willing to give more than they take. I would also like to talk on ethical issues. You have been to university, yes. Yes, you are knowledgeable in academic learning. Yes, you can analyze and arrange your thoughts in a logical manner, but do not for once think you are better than those people you are meant to serve. If you serve, you are a servant, full stop. You are not a master, full stop. Respect women, especially young and vulnerable girls. This is very important for your image and that of the organization. Recently, there have been in the news of well-thought-of NGOs who are meant to help quote-unquote poor people, just to end up exploiting them. This is unacceptable. In our training, I'm sure you were told to be the ambassadors of the organization. Go beyond that and be the ambassadors of all young people in the Gambia. In the Gambia, unfortunately, the young generation have not developed the traditional sense of giving back to our community that we were brought under when we were young. The Yiriwa Kafo mentality is dead or is dying. For some reason, we are overtaken by the caste economy. For everything now, caste is king. I'm not blaming the younger generation only because somehow we the elders failed in our responsibilities too. We are meant to sow the seed of community and nation first, but most choose to be the elites and lord it over whoever is under them. What developed is a me first culture, a lot of it borrowed from so-called quote-unquote Western civilization. However, it is not all gloom and doomed. For us in all human development, when we are pushed to the wall, we tend to regain our senses. Some call this back to basics. I agree with Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? With your participation as volunteers, we hope you are the foot warriors that will break the unsustainable chain of selfishness and greed. We hope you take up the challenge and do your activities to the best of your abilities, as you have been trained to do. If you give more than you take, we can surely build a nation, a better one. In conclusion, I leave you with the words of Kofi Annan, who said, if our hopes and building a better and safer world are to become more wishful thinking, we will need the engagement of volunteers more than ever. Thank you very much.
I want to hear a louder round of applause. Mr. Ba is a very, very eloquent man. You must agree with me. And I would want to highlight two things that he talked about. The first thing is he said, you are educated. Yes. You're smart. Yes. But do not think for a minute that you're better than the people you serve. And this is very fundamental because I work in civil society. I do advocacy. I do awareness campaign. I do community engagements all the time. And sometimes the culture is every time we show up in this community that we are teaching them something. And sometimes we have no regards for the existing indigenous knowledge within these communities. Just because some of our people within the communities cannot read or write, it doesn't mean they are not educated or they're not knowledgeable. They are not literate, yes, they cannot read and write, but they have knowledge. Our communities have been existing for centuries. They have sophisticated indigenous knowledge. And when we walk with them, when we walk among them, when we walk side by side with them, and when we work for them, we must respect and give regard to that knowledge. Before we move, I would like to recognize the presence of Fatou Jiba, the Director of Community Development. Welcome, ma'am. A round of applause for her, please. And moving on, I would like to welcome Kemo Fati of Green of Gambia to give a statement. Mr. Fati.
Good morning, everyone. Such an honor to be here today. I want to first express my apologies for stepping in just a couple of minutes short. And of course, it is very much gratifying today to be seeing brilliant young people sitting in front, and also extending my greetings to the high table, the country director of CorpsAfrica, the board of directors, board members, Ministry of Environment here present, and all personnel, distinguished delegates, all of you. I salute you all. Today, I'm invited here to give a testament of our work as it relates to CorpsAfrica's mission. And before I go further, I would also like to recognize the presence of my able scientist, Dr. Marlon Dinjaite, who has been teaching me over the years in terms of environmental issues. But I didn't want to read a statement because I'm not used to reading statements. I'm usually used to being free. But today I will start with the words that come from our Great Green Wall Frontline Manifesto. And I read these words to you just so that it inspires some kind of courage and that we understand the real threats that are facing us. And this reads, today we stand united at the front line of a global emergency. As first-hand witness to the devastating impacts of the climate breakdown and the avalanche of destruction it brings in our communities and the hope that it kills. Our home is ground zero of climate change. What happens here today, what is happening here today, has the potential to be the tomorrow of those people who are yet to feel the harsh consequences of this crisis. In less than a generation, millions of our spring water sources have dried up. Native forests that used to provide food, medicine, and shelter. Weather conditions are making life so hard for us. In 2012, nearly 8,000 Gambians had filed for asylum in Italy alone. Half of everyone who finishes university leaves this country. More and more, we are going into a situation of desperation where the young do not feel the need to even stay anymore to help. We have been trying to remodel development so that we can be able to really get the best to our communities in the simplest ways. Before CorpsAfrica, before I'm beginning to fall in love with you guys, I have been in love with the Peace Corps mission for so long, because not a day that I walk into these communities, I found out that the dream of every young person, the adults, the men and women and children will all come out to see and discuss about this film at free of charge. It is at these screenings where we come in contact with the wisdom keepers of the land. That is where I, for one, today can confirm that maybe this indigenous knowledge that we are having there, probably to them understanding their problem from the ground up, will give you some kind of authenticity in what you're doing. And this will ultimately lead to the impact that you're looking for, changing the lives of these people. Poverty is seeping through the pores of our healthy societies and ravaging it beyond repair. It is our job as young people to than ever. In the Gambia, we are losing our surface water. Did you know that all the water that falls from the sky in the Gambia goes to a waste? Because we assume that we have so much water, and a lot of people are busy building boreholes. We might be counting day zero in the Gambia here, while having in our communities by people staying there and becoming those communities and learning from them. This would be the only way to translate their development models.
We would now have the representative of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, Mr. Abbas Ba, who is the Executive Director of the National Youth Service Scheme, to give his statement. Mr. Ba.
Thank you very much. It's difficult when you want to talk when activists have already spoken before you. They complete everything that you want to say. Thank you very much, Kemo. I'm dreaming the days that I'm going back to be an activist. Good morning. I want to recognize the representative of the Ministry of Environment. I also want to acknowledge the board chair, the country director, the members of the high table, honorable invited guests, senior government officials here present, staff of CorpsAfrica, first batch of the volunteers, the press, the media, all protocol respectfully observed. I am deeply honored to be here. I'm representing the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, who is all the way in Ivory Coast. He would have loved to be here today to ensure that he also deliver his statement. First and foremost, I would seize this opportunity to thank and congratulate CorpsAfrica for this very commendable and laudable initiative to open CorpsAfrica office in the Gambia. This is indeed a step in the right direction in complementing government efforts in empowering the young people and creating job opportunities and enhancing sustainable community development across the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an open secret that in the Gambia continues to face, the youths continue to face several challenges, such as unemployment, irregular migration and returns, inadequate access to opportunities, relevant technical skills, access to finance, insufficient youth space, among other challenges. Evidently, the provision of quality and relevant education, lifelong learning opportunities for youth, especially in digital skills, vocational education, business finance, as well as cultural appreciation, sustainability, gender, and human rights with a progressive policy environment will not only accelerate socio-economic development and transformation, but we could also facilitate the attainment of the Sustainable Development Plan, by extension, the Sustainable Development Goal. These challenges, majority of Gambian youth in our communities and the diaspora continues to demonstrate resilience and commitment to maximally utilize the opportunities provided by government across all sectors. The government of the Gambia, under the dynamic leadership of His Excellency President Adam Barrow, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, will continue to prioritize youth empowerment, development, as emphasized in the strategic priority 7 areas of the National Development Plan. on harnessing the demographic dividend. Young people constitute more than 65% of the population, and their meaningful engagement and development is critical to sustainable development. As you stand here today, as I stand here today, as I am looking at those that have been selected to serve in the various communities, I know CorpsAfrica made the best decision in selecting you out of thousands of young people in this country. This is a moment to reflect your minds on the challenges and opportunities out there in our communities. I am with the strong conviction that this will yield dividend. The Minister of Youth and Sports and CorpsAfrica will continue to collaborate in all platforms for empowerment of our young people. To conclude, the government of the Gambia remains committed in the cause of youth, and the Minister of Youth and Sports will continue to engage you through the National Youth Council, the National Sports Council, NEDI, and the NYSS in a bid to empower and provide you with employable skills and promote sports development. All we ask from you, the youth, is that you redouble your efforts and be hardworking, avoid engaging in illegal acts, seek education skills in order to excel as a citizen. I further wish to invite you all to collaborate and partner with us to harness the demographic potentials of our youth to transform education, economic growth, peace, and prosperity in the Gambia. I also want to wish you all in your service as CorpsAfrica volunteer. This is the statement that I read on behalf of the Honorable Minister, and I think it's a very powerful statement, but on my own, I want to encourage the volunteers to understand that they are going into communities that really need these services, like the Master of Ceremony said. We have all these structures in the communities, but they don't have people that have the capabilities to be able to help us to realize our goals. I don't want to dwell on some of the challenges that Africa is facing. I think I'll leave that to the others. But the challenges that we have in Africa, both in environment, in development, in economy, in training, is so huge. And it's only us that can be able to remove ourselves from that situation. I remember I attended a program at Boston University in the US. I realized that most of my classmates were Indian students and Chinese. These students from India and China, they are over hundreds. But the idea is they were in America to study from the best universities and go back to China and India to develop. And we are seeing the results. I don't need to go further because I know we cannot develop Africa without getting the required skills and technical knowledge. And we cannot develop Africa without exploiting the resources that we have here for our benefits. I know you might not be into politics, but by looking at the current geopolitics that is going around, you already know what are the challenges that are going on. If you zoom within the West Africa, you can even see some of the geopolitics that are interfering in our development. Just take examples of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and see how, if we don't stand on our ground, we will lose the resources that we have for Africa. And we will not blame anybody but ourselves. And that's why when they say the problem to solve it is from us, I agree on that. And I think we need to think forward. And your presence in those communities would definitely help to change the narrative that we have. On that note, I want to thank the members of the High Table very well. From the members of the High Table, we have experience. We have people who have experience in all areas. And I have no doubt the board of CorpsAfrica would also be able to help us very well in you achieving your development aspirations. We at the NYSS, this is a program that we have championed very well, and we think that the only way we can be able to develop this country is to encourage voluntarism, to encourage young people going out there to share their skills that they attain. Without that, we cannot do much. On that note, I want to thank you very well on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports and on behalf of the Ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abbasba. So we're going to now we're going to have a cultural performance by Fuller Acrobatic Troupe.
It's a pleasure for us to be here. My name is Barhama, but you can call me Mariama. Her name is Barhama too, but you can call her Mariama. You know, we are siblings from the same mom and dad, so we are here doing our thing. But first of all, most of the time, suñu teewee dafa am lu ñu def dama bëgg ma fàttali leen tuuti aca ñu def foo yóbbu gaay
Salaamaaleykum nuyu naa leen. Salaamaaleykum everybody. Maaleykum asalaam. Salaamaaleykum waa boor bi de. Maaleykum asalaam. Salaamaaleykum the high table. Maaleykum asalaam. Salaamaaleykum waa boor bele. Salaamaaleykum bakaya bi. Salaamaaleykum cameraman si. Maaleykum asalaam. Salaamaaleykum ye. Salaamaaleykum ye. Salaamaaleykum ye. Salaamaaleykum.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Salaamaaleykum nuyu leen.
Mariam, you are it. We go.
Gambia suma réew sopp na la ndax ci yow laa juddoo.
Give me the terrain. Jole ma terrain bi nag. Pare nga na? We go again.
Gambia suma réew sopp na la ndax ci yow laa juddoo. Gambia suma réew nopp naa la ndax ci yow laa am. Gambia suma réew bëgg naa la ndax te yaa fi gën.
Seen terrain baax na. Léegi ñu demaat.
Foo dee ñinkiri.
Okay, well, you know this song, right? Anyway, we don't want to waste more time. Be the lay you friend. Yeah.
Xale yi Afrika.
Mbokk benn xol. Mbokki benn baat.
Tubaab yi na ko ne.
Suñu maam yaa.
Xaajale leen.
Benn di lakk
Français, ñi anglais, ñi portugais, ñi italien. Nañ leen àndandoo. Dellu cosaan di def nañ daan defee. Xale yi Afrika ne leen àndandoo bokk benn xol bokki benn baat tubaab yi na xone suñu maam yaa xaajale leen féewale leen ba ñi di lakk français ñi anglais ñi portugais ñi italien nañ leen àndandoo dellu cosaan di def nañ daan defee gëmi sayen gëma We will go. You know what, Ben?
Free up your mind and be ready to enjoy.
Yeah, I just wanna enjoy.
Free up your mind and be ready to enjoy.
Yeah, I just wanna enjoy.
Aina bukiye.
Bukiya nyo.
How you guys say? Aina bukiye.
Chamaku.
Aina bukiye.
Aina bukiye.
Bahamaya nyo.
Aina bukiye.
Bahamaya nyo.
Kokoliko. 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 Suma boisi nyom denu yaru.
Suma boisi nyom denu yaru. Denu hamfeida. Dunyu khlogunje. Suma boisi nyom denu yaru.
Peace and love.
Kemo yodanga yaru. Kemo kemo yo danga yaru. Danga amfaida no no flodo ke. Kemo yo danga yaru bes. Bahama tamom danga yaru. Bahama mom danga yaru. Danga amfaida no flodo ke. Cherno sak danga yaru. Champion. Thank you, Mr. Mama. Thank you so much. Yes, it was a pleasure being here.
And therefore, we must open up space for every aspect of society. Kemo, as an activist, must be given the space to talk and engage people. Then we must give Barhama and Mariama the space to do some art. And then we have to give my relatives, of course, the fullers, to do some acrobats. The bad thing is, I don't know how to dance like a fuller. I was misrepresenting my people very, very badly. So we move on, and now we are going to have the volunteers activity presentation.
His heart dances in unfamiliar chords as he tries to read the writings on the wall, trying to work hard with all their might and longing for the while under a starry night. Their feet might be stained with death and sun, but in CorpsAfrica, their hearts stand. They were told to face the challenges and fight, for in serving humanity, they were told to do with all their might.
The Syrians always become a distant call to work with communities where their shadows fall, in spite of the animal instinct. Their work become wild and free. CorpsAfrica guides us to the threshold grave, giving us the support in their untamed spirit. Today, we say goodbye to our trainees as they prepare us to work in the women's care.
In the dawn's gentle embrace at 6 a.m., CorpsAfrica whispered, awaken and begin. And with team, once you stand, now a steadfast ally, transforming its sunrise beneath the open sky. Lessons and sessions once met with a sign. With Margaret, Mama, Justice, Mariama, oh how they fly. Facilitators, the architect of the life, united excitement, turning light into right. In the realm of teamwork, building each day. The chaos and sessions, like a lively ballet. Weeks unfold, a canvas to take. Anticipation dances, a future we arrange.
We love the words we learned from our community. From Sumole Abije, which awaken the spirit of unity, to Continente Tenante, which mark our integration. But despite the struggles, Domandin will help us to achieve the solution. CorpsAfrica, a vessel, a conduit to aspire. Developing Africa, fueled by passion's fire. Volunteering, noble in every way. To you a heartbeat, emotion sway.
Jamugol and their chair. Near no sakti hebude. Lord gol hebatago and their balde. Saturday for ticket. Lawon gol fono waden dugu. Tapugol diangila bimbi haja. Sweat, stroke, shots, and dusty embrace. A test of resilience in this arid space. No lathering bubbles, just dust on the skin. Yet perseverance grows from within.
That's why I was on a mama. Jalan Saka. Ligay, Tanungo Japane. Kurdan and Dama. The text is here. My son and daughter Adam. Why not the other for the name? Community bonds and black tributes. Sincere struggles. Resilience and faith.
Through waterless days, a poem takes form. In the heart of challenges, resilience is born. In Africa's embrace, two peers to be trod. Language barriers faced, unity we Lord. Challenges met with laughter and grace. In CorpsAfrica's journey, the challenges make space.
In the village square, towards the flag, yet smiles and gestures makes things right. Through struggles and triumphs, we found our way. CorpsAfrica volunteers breaking barriers each day. In the heart of a service, a leader stands tall among volunteers answering every call.
Guiding with wisdom, inspiring the group, empowering hearts to embrace what's true. Our spirit ignites, a bygone that glows. In moments of doubt, our guardians flow. As servants at core, yet a leader we are, uniting the team like a shining star.
With humility, encouraging kindness in all we see. Our legacy thrives in each act of grace, a leader among volunteers. In every embrace, we are united, our family, for we all say,
Long live CorpsAfrica, long live our motherland.
At the beginning of my day, I wake up.
I have my quiet time. Afterwards, I get out of bed. Every morning when I wake up, I thank God for giving me another day.
I prepare for my day. This is what I've chosen to do. Next, I go out to brush my teeth and wash my face.
Cleanliness, as they say, is next to godliness. I sweep my room and outside of my room.
The view from my house is a pure beauty. So before heading to the living room, I enjoy it for a couple minutes by myself.
Every morning, I read and then I exercise. I teach sports to the kids.
I stay physically fit by doing exercise. The kids and I do morning sports.
Around 10 a.m., I will have my breakfast. We'll have tea, bread and coffee.
We have pala, mbatata and chinangwa.
Then the fun begins.
I go for a walk to look at how my community is doing. Most of the time, I try to go and work with the community and then I go back to work at the school.
Apart from that, I do one-on-one visits to check on community members.
Then we look on what we can do for our community development.
Community members are empowered to come up with their own solutions
And develop in a more sustainable way.
Some organizations hand out allowances to gather community members. We do not do that. We work with people who are willing to work with and for others. As a result, we build a community where people are focused on the end result.
I have rediscovered myself. The things I am doing now, I never thought I would do such things. And I see that I have grown as a person.
I then go home to prepare some rice, and I have stew already, so I'll be taking my lunch.
We eat the food the communities give us or anything we can find in the community.
Whatever we can buy at the market.
We have potatoes, we have beans, that kind of food we have in our communities mostly come from agricultural production.
The thing that I look forward to every day is having some me time.
After my peace and quietness, I am able to reflect on everything I have been doing throughout the day.
The project I am working on in my community is a nursery bed project.
Some of the activities that I do, I facilitate the community members to build the kitchen gardens.
Also did some water project where people can now have access to clean water.
And also, I attend a village meeting where we discuss issues concerning the community. Normally, we have around 70 attendants in each meeting.
In the last few months, I see the changes in my community. They are working together, meeting on their own, and moving their own development forward.
But what really continues motivating me day by day is the people. Being able to help, to share a moment of joy with the community members. The kids laugh while having fun, or even witnessing the pride on a woman's face when she wrote for the first time.
My host family is the kindest family I have ever met. I like to chat with the host mother. She is always happy when I exchange words with her in her language.
They helped me in integrating with my host community.
They are very nice people that I now call my family.
I have a sense of responsibility. I am grateful that I can relate to so many people at any level, and I can learn so many skills that I do not get the chance to learn at home.
So the day is almost over, and then I end my day by praying and eating supper.
I really like the food at the site. I really enjoy it too much.
I continue reading my book before I go to bed.
Then, before heading to bed, I go through what I've been doing and take some notes and prepare my next day.
As with every day, from when I wake up, everything I do has a direct impact on this community.
I'm now going to sleep. It's a good night and see you next time.
تصبحوا على خير. أتمنى لكم يوم سعيد. سلام.
The country director of CorpsAfrica Gambia, Mr. Fode Bojang, to present these certificates. And the first person we have is Babo Karjaro. Next we have Peter Jara. Can we have Maria Masedi? And so we have this, they're receiving two certificates, one from the Gambia Red Cross Society and another certificate in asset-based community-led development and human-centered design. Maria Masedi. Thank you very much, Mr. Bojang. Can we have Fatih Zida to present the certificate? Sofna Sanya. Isaac Benson. Thank you very much, Mark. All right. Can we have Mr. Adam Abba to present some of the certificates? All right, that brings us to the end of the presentation of certificates. And the next item on the agenda is the swearing-in ceremony. Mr. Adam Abba will be administering the oath. So we will have all the volunteers stand up. Can all of you stand up, please?
Are we done? Okay. And now it's my honor to swear you in as CorpsAfrica volunteers. Please repeat after me. I, and then you state your name. I do solemnly swear that I will fulfill my duties as a CorpsAfrica volunteer to do no harm when I can do no good, to give no answer when a question is yet unasked, to have an open mind and an open heart, and to seek out the bonds of friendship, community, and collaboration. Friendship, community, and collaboration. Say that again. Okay. Both at my side and with my CorpsAfrica colleagues. And I will try to the best of my ability to live up to the highest standards of honor, integrity, and dedication. Congratulations.
Congratulations, finally, it is official. You have been sworn in, huh? And that is a very, very powerful declaration you just made. And everyone here in this hall today is going to hold you up to those words. The people you work with are going to hold you up to those words. The communities you work in will hold you up to those words, and we expect you will live up to them, because we want to make sure the next cohort that comes has a very incredible example to follow. You need to set your standard so high that the next cohort of volunteers that come will be very intimidated because of the incredible work that you're doing. And
thank you very much. Okay, I'm inspired by this group. Mr. the coordinator and the chairperson of the board, I'm really inspired by this group. I don't know, I'm sure it is not by default that I don't want to go into those issues, but I would not do justice to myself if I don't talk about them. Gender equality. So this group is not by default that we have more women than men. Clap for that. You know why? You know why? They are just doing an extension of what they have been doing from day one. That's why you have more women than men. Volunteerism is what we know, is what we do. we give subsidy to government. We take care of the workforce of the government from childbirth. You take care of the child. You take the child to school. You wash the child. You clothe the child. You feed the child. And when the child is 8 years old, you take the child to school. That's where government starts. And you work with government to grade 12. And from there, government, you go to university, and then government appoints. All those work should have been done by government. Government should have paid the mother to do that, to be able to employ the workforce. That's what they do. When they employ people, they take them to higher educations to learn skills so that they can perform better, so that they can give better services. And mothers are doing that, and we are not paid. So you are doing an extension of your volunteerism as community workers, as part of your multiple role. So thank you very much. Thank you also the boys. I am here representing the Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources. He would have loved to be with you here, but because of other pressing issues, not more important than this, of course, but they came before this. So she has assigned me to represent her. I don't know if I will be able to do it the way he would love it, but I will do my best. The country director, CorpsAfrica, chairperson of the board of directors and board members here present, representative of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, executive director of Green Up Africa, CorpsAfrica volunteers, the media, and I want to specially acknowledge the presence of Mr. Almami Damfa. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and appreciation that I join you to celebrate this momentous occasion and also deliver the closing remark on behalf of the Honorable Minister of MECNA. So if I say MECNA, it means Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources. I extend her greetings and apologies for not being able to personally grace this occasion. Now I read her statement. I stand before you today with great honor on behalf of the MECNA, extending warm greetings and heartfelt congratulations to CorpsAfrica, the Gambia, on the occasion of their swearing-in ceremony and launching. As we come together to celebrate this significant moment in the journey of CorpsAfrica Gambia, I express our gratitude for the invitation extended to MECNA. It is a testament to the importance of partnership and collective action in addressing environmental challenges. CorpsAfrica, the Gambia, with its dedicated staff and volunteers, has set its sight on addressing one of the most pressing challenges of our time, climate change and resilience. Through CorpsAfrica's Green Initiative, these volunteers, in collaboration with local communities, will work tirelessly to identify areas of critical need and implement small-scale solutions. Their commitment to environmental sustainability aligns seamlessly with MECNA's mission. It is indeed inspiring to witness the collaboration between CorpsAfrica, the Gambia, and their communities as they strive to create a more resilient and sustainable future. The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources acknowledges and commends their efforts to combat climate change and build resilience. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is in this constantly revolving world, with communities exposed to vulnerability of climate change and poverty, the role of youth in shaping the future of their communities cannot be overemphasized. We are all aware that Africa's most difficult challenge are engaging youth and helping rural communities overcome extreme poverty as well as climate change. These cannot be addressed effectively without the active participation of young people in their own development as well as in the development of their communities. For young people to play that vital role, it is important to enhance their capacity and empower them and help them learn vital skills, develop knowledge and environmental issues and climate change, and to promote positive social civic behaviors and actions, among others. The collaboration of all stakeholders in this endeavor is more crucial than ever. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in recognizing the vital role that CorpsAfrica plays in this critical endeavor, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources is eager to contribute its expertise and support. As we stand on the precipice of a future shaped by environmental challenges, it is saddening to see organizations like CorpsAfrica, the Gambia, leading the way in finding impactful solutions. I would like to take this opportunity to assure CorpsAfrica, the Gambia, of the ministry's continued support and collaboration in their endeavor. Together, we can foster positive change and build a sustainable future for the Gambia and beyond. The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources stand ready to work hand in hand with CorpsAfrica, reinforcing our shared commitment to environmental stewardship and resilience. That's the Honorable Minister's statement. I just wanted to add a few remarks that when you came in, the volunteers, the applause was like people were hungry and they are tired. So for that reason, I respectfully ask us to give a befitting round of applause to these gallant young women and men who who, instead of volunteering into the perilous journey to Europe, volunteered to render their selfless service for our dear motherland and the people of the Gambia. My advice to you, you volunteered, but it becomes a sworn duty once you were sworn in. And for that reason, whatever you said when you were sworn in is binding upon you. So you owe us, you owe the community a lot, and you will be accountable to us at the end of your service. I just want to say that you are also role models in society, and a lot of young people will be looking up to you. So whichever way you behave will tell a lot on CorpsAfrica. So we need you to fly the flag of CorpsAfrica high, to the highest height, as it is happening in other countries, and we really need to see your mark when you leave these communities. Having said that, I want to thank all of you very much for your patience. And now I have the honor to launch the CorpsAfrica, the Gambia. I wish you well in your endeavor.
Thank you. Gambia, which are my colleagues, and we are here to tell you that we do not believe this narrative. Instead, we believe that Africans can save Africa. Being a part of this initiative is an honor, not only for me, but for my colleagues as well, and for even the trainers and the staff of CorpsAfrica. And from the countless experiences that we have shared, that is the countless hours of ABCD, HCD, CLD in the halls to the street rooms and the winter style baths that we had during CBT. They can relate, they understand. We just want to tell you that we will not disappoint you. In fact, a bond has been formed amongst us as a family. We do not stand before you actually as experts, but rather as a family that have bonded through all these shared experiences. And so, we just want to tell our trainers and all those that were playing or that played a part in training us that we will not disappoint you, that we will carry the countless lessons that you gave us to our communities, to listen to the heartbeat of our communities.
Ladies and gentlemen, double join. And this brings us to the last and final activities for today. The last thing we will do is march out. We will have a group photo where we have the big CorpsAfrica banner, and then from there we will go and have lunch. And this is my last word to everyone here, especially the volunteers. I'm going to paraphrase this. A little boy was leading a horse to a waterfall. He was taking a horse to drink. And so he was leading the horse, and they were walking through the bushes, and because he is short, he couldn't see in front of him. So he told the horse, there's no way here, I can't see in front of me. The horse said, but can you see where you can put your next step? The little boy said, yes. The horse said, that's okay, don't focus on everything, you don't have to see the way. If you can find where to put the next step, just put it there, keep going. Just keep taking one step after another, we will get there, right? And that goes for everyone. Sometimes the picture of exactly what you want at the end of everything is not there. You don't know what the outcome of all of your work is going to be in the communities, and you cannot. What you can control, however, is the step you take every day. Can you see where to place your foot every morning? We saw the video on a day in the life of our That is it. You wake up in the morning, you don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day, but you know when you get off bed what to do next. Where you place your foot next. And if you keep doing that and you keep doing the right thing, we may not be able to perfectly predict what the outcome would be, but we can judge for a very high percentage that the dreams that inspired what is happening right now are achievable. And on that note, I thank all of you very much. Let's go have the group photo, and then we can have lunch and discuss. Thank you.